Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the time. Tonight I'll be talking about content strategy. I will not get into softwares and a lot of details because if you were to write a book about it, it will be a series of books. There's a lot involved in it. So tonight we'll try and keep it simple, just mostly around the concept of what it is, what are the key messages you need to look out for, and how you can consider content strategy whenever you're writing. But before we start, there we go.
You may just kill that mic because it's just giving.
Yeah, is it?
You talk about it anyway. So.
All right. Can you hear me okay? Let's give it his voice. Hey?
No, the safety so I got them free.
Okay. All right. Education is what others do to you, and learning is what you do to yourself. Now, it's a very interesting quote because that's what content strategy I think is all about. So let me just make that full screen. It was said by Joel2015. He's the MIT director, and he did a really interesting speech on education on TED in 2014. That kind of stayed with me because we get educated all the time. And we'll have a look at a few words when it comes to content strategy, what not to use and why, and perhaps how to make it more of a learning experience than an educating experience, because I think to educate somebody is almost enforcing something to learn by force, but to learn is an option, is when you learn yourself. So, content strategy. I run a little agency in Bella Vista and called Digital Spot. So pretty much 24/7 we work around content. So we've got content writers, social media managers, designers, developers, and the more and more we look at it, there's more businesses who sort of look at content. The way we see content is, I know people are going to hate me, especially if they see the video. The way I see it is forget about SEO. Focus on good quality content. People try to trick the search engines, they don't try to write for the people. Use your content as a word of mouth, essentially that's what it is. So when you're writing a piece of content, you want it to be written for a group of people that will come back and refer other people. We are all sitting in this room because we have something in common, and that's a piece of software called Joomla. So if I know one person who does Joomla, and if somebody who's looking for it, if I can help them, guess what, there's a whole audience there. So that's what content's all about, and we look at a strategy to get around that. Okay, this is my brag slide. Brag slide, that's a definition of what's content strategy on Google Australia. And there are two pieces that I've highlighted in there. And there's another two that I'll show you. But it says the right place and the right time. Content is all about writing for people, and for all around the world you can get clients. So the idea behind it is you need to distribute it to the channel at the correct time zone. If you have a global product that you can sell anywhere, and there's a campaign happening in the US or in Europe, you don't want to be posting at midday in Sydney. They're all asleep. By the time they wake up, their feed's gone. It's buried. They will miss it. So you need to pick the right time. You need to understand where your audience is and what time of day it is over there. And content's all about understanding why. Okay? It's not about saying, why am I writing it? It's why am I in business? It's like about why am I in business? What am I doing? Yeah, Steve needs your help. So it's all about understanding why, what am I writing for? Let's go to the next one. So that definition, I was very happy when I saw that came up because Google picked it up from our Australian website for Google Australia and gave us the credit and put it up there, and that was only written on the 16th of June. So I'll talk about, there's a little trick around writing content for people, and Google appreciates, and if anything, that slide shows the proof that yes, that's what it's all about. It's about writing for people, defining what people are looking for, and giving them information to help them understand. So, theme. It's all about creating a theme for what you are doing in your business. Okay? And Steve, the theme is not about a WordPress theme.
It's not?
Nah, sorry.
It's a capital P.
I'll skip that. It's about learning why your business exists, and it's about understanding that and creating a theme around that. What is your purpose? What is it that you actually do? Who you love to work with. Okay, identifying those things about your product, your business, or yourself, and creating that becomes your little specialty essentially. Okay? Purpose. I'll give you a moment to have a read of that. All right. I'll skip that. So we all have a purpose, and hopefully it's not like the rabbit being stuck in front of the computer all day. Okay. There are three key things to having your purpose. Whatever theme you're creating, whatever content you're creating around that theme, you need to create your content so that it's engaging, entertaining, or educating. Okay? So you must have at least two of them, one or two of those sort of ideas in your content. Am I trying to engage the audience? Am I trying to entertain them? Am I trying to educate them? Your ultimate purpose might be to sell a product, but you don't want to be hard selling. You want to be actually giving some value. That's what content's all about. Add value, ask for a little. So there's almost a scale. It's like this. I'll give you this 450 book about content strategy if you give me your email address, and I'll send it to you by email. You're like, oh, awesome. You give me an email. Next time, I'll say, well, you've got the book. What do you think? Then you do that, and then maybe I'll send you to somewhere else where I can ask for your name or gender or date of birth. Or slowly, I give you something else of value, and I get a little bit of information until such time that I have maybe your name, date of birth, gender, and hobbies, interests. Then I can segment it and write some custom actually articles and content to provide to that particular segment that matches what my theme is. Okay, and what I'm trying to do with our business, for example. And that stuff could be funny, engaging, because a lot of the stuff that you find, like I said before, if you're a Joomla user or a Joomla developer, you obviously know the Joomlas, but if you find a resource that's quite useful, you are more likely to share it with other people. So that's the approach you want to take. Now, creating content, you've got obviously all these sort of blogs, media releases, infographics, video survey, Q&As, all sorts of stuff that you can do, that you can release. But a lot of time what I'm finding is a lot of businesses I deal with and I speak with on a daily basis, they're like, oh, we have a blog. Okay, what do you normally write about? Oh, just stuff. Anything that comes up. When was the last time we wrote something? Oh, I don't know, I think 4 months ago. No, you don't want to do that. You need to create sort of a content calendar, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. So you need to have that consistency that you actually reinforce the message. And if you talk to a lot of marketing people, they tell you people need to hear the same message up to about 7 or 8 times before they click, oh, okay, Tim, oh, he does Joomla. You know, it stays with them. So if you're not regular in releasing the content around your theme of what it is that you want to do or what it is that you offer, then people will forget what you do. Okay? Now, with your content, I'm a big fan of repurposing content because sometimes people say, well, how do I create so much content around what we do? You know, how do I do this? And there's so many crazy ideas and out there that you can write about. Well, if you write a blog, you can convert the blog into a presentation or a presentation into a blog or a series of blogs into an ebook. But every time you write a blog or a presentation, you can take out lots of tweets out of that or lots of social media posts out of that for different channels and post them online. You can make a video explaining this. I actually have a diagram of this in the office that I've drawn, how this whole thing sort of fits together into like a nice little spider-looking diagram. And I could do a video presentation on that diagram, what's the theme, and what am I trying to educate people and how everything fits together. Okay? You can create downloadables, white papers, they're all from the same stuff. And whoever actually downloads that ebook or downloads that whatever stuff, infographic you created, because of what it was about and what the theme was, you can actually put them into a nice little database of, okay, well, these people are interested in. You have your like a man in this there. You can create your autopilot of your newsletters and distributions. What's the software? The one that got released recently? Motic? Yeah, it's on there as well. Where you can have, if people come to this site and they download this, then send this email. 7 days later, if they don't open it, then send them this. If not, then if they do that, then blah, 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 blah. And you can work out a whole series of events that could happen from there. And you can track what they've done. Okay? Don't be afraid to ask. And ask as in have call to actions. Ask them to buy, ask them to download, ask them to do something. But be very careful with what you ask for in your content. A lot of people have a tendency, there's a rule that I like to follow, it's 70-20-10. 70% of the time you want to share content that is around what your theme is, what your specialty is, what your niche is, okay, and that's educational, that you have actually produced yourself. 20% of the time is you use industry content that other people have developed that is about your niche and about your theme, about what you offer. You know, that's actually educational content as well, or entertaining content as well. Then only 10% of the time you ask them to buy something. Unfortunately, most people have it all reversed. You go to some websites or some social media links and buy this, download this, or here certain, you know, download this and forward this and like this and share this. It's just too much. You know, people are going to ignore all that. It just becomes way too annoying. All right. Now, content calendar. Who here has a content calendar? Aha! Okay, awesome. Well, we've got 3 people that got content calendar. Content calendar is all about what my business is doing on a regular basis, what are the stuff that I'm going to be doing that's not really so regular, but you need to have a calendar that tells you each week I'm writing a blog, I'm doing a podcast, Peter, and you know, so then I'm doing X, Y, Z. There are activities on your content calendar where you have to start literally from daily. Daily activities are social media activities where you can schedule or post, let's say 10 posts on 2 on each major channel at a specific time in which you know your majority of your audience are in that zone. Okay, so if I'm looking at posting content that's about Sydney, then it needs to be, I normally post it between 7:30 to 9:30 in the morning, because that's when everybody's in the bus going to the city on their phone going, oh, what am I going to do today? That's where you do the traction. The other time is around about 11:30 to about 1:30, lunchtime. People get bored, and then from 3 o'clock to about 9 p.m. it peaks in Sydney. Consistently, I've seen in Sydney, or every time we post content, 9 p.m. is actual peak where we have the most amount of engagement with our content, and then 9:30 just sort of bang, drops, everybody goes to bed about 9:30, 10 o'clock, they get ready for bed, and it's dead after that, and it picks up again in the morning. It's a very distinct sort of a curve you get all the way through. So you need to understand how your followers and users actually see your content, and it makes a huge difference. Okay? Now, content calendar, you do your daily activity, like I said, social media. Weekly could be your blogs. Monthly could be a white paper, a research, or study something, or infographic, or maybe a survey that you've done or somebody else has done. A quarterly could be if you're sort of doing maybe an ebook or a nice big video or interview, something about within your industry that's relevant to your people. And then you've got your sort of annual event. It could be a dinner, or it could be a function, it could be something that's, for example, annually we have the Joomla days. Joomla Day Sydney happens 1 day a year, or every second year. This year it's in Brisbane in October, I think 10, 11. Yeah, something like that. Joomla Day is in 10, 11 October in Brisbane this year. Yeah. So that's got your content calendar outline. So you kind of write down what you're going to do, what days of the week throughout the year, and you plan for it. And then you also have room for additional stuff that does pop up. Okay? But with the content calendar, I'm just going to quickly give you a little idea. I've used this slide before, some of you may have seen it and are familiar with it. I'm going to base it on a quarterly activity, or quarterly. Pretend that green arrow is all 3 months that you've selected. And inside that 3 months, you've got your blog, you've got all your social media, you've got whatever else you do, it goes into that 3 months. So first quarter, you send out all your content. Then on your second quarter, you send out your start of your second quarter. This is called a laser. There we go. Cool. So over here, you send out your first quarter. Once you get there, you start your second quarter. As soon as you reach your second quarter, you can actually track what bits of social media posts or blogs have had most amount of traction, or most amount of likes and shares, or social signal, as we call it. And then you start posting them again in parallel to your current activities that you're doing. So you follow that process throughout the year. So you do your third quarter, but then you start anything that was popular in your second quarter, you start publishing it again. Okay, you're duplicating, and so then you're just trying to get more engagement out of that content, make more use out of it. So you do that for the year until you kind of reach the end of the year. But along the way, whilst you're doing sort of your fourth quarter, you may find activities along here or there that is really engaging, and you want to sort of get more people to like it. And we use this Facebook ads here. Anyone? Peter, myself? Okay. Get to know Facebook ads is actually a very powerful little engine. You can do some really cool stuff. With Facebook ads, you can boost your content, your social media content that's had a bit like, say, oh, this is something interesting happening. Okay, I'm going to allocate $10 here, $5 there, all the way along. You allocate a small budget just to help that piece of content that's already engaging to get more of an audience, and hopefully you will have enough call to actions in that piece of content so that you can get that email address, you can get that contact name or phone number. Okay, and you just do that part of your calendar. You just plan all the content, and based on the activities happen, whatever's popular, boost it up a little bit. All right, now, how to find audience. So part of your whole sort of content strategy is, okay, well, if I'm selling a product or a service, and that product service is a B2B product, I may not be able to find customers on Pinterest, for example. Okay, but I may find customers on LinkedIn. But if I am selling a, like, I don't know, cosmetic product or something like, jewelry, that sort of stuff, I am more likely to find the audience because the business-to-consumer market, and if I post all that beautiful photos of the cosmetics or the models or the clothing or the jewelry, I'm more likely to get likes, shares, and followers from the consumer, especially considering Pinterest got so many females. I think it's got like 94% or 90-something% female, and a very small group is actually male. So then you can narrow it down a bit more there. Okay, so you can use your social media networks, but you need to understand the product where those people hang out, and you need to understand the product from a perspective of, or the service of whether it fits everything in the social media that you want to target, also fits in with the business or with the theme that you're trying to follow, the niche that you want to have. So you can use obviously YouTube, Vimeo, Hulu, all that sort of stuff to do videos and send it out and promote it, targeting those individuals with the correct keywords and terminology. You can do podcast, Stitcher, iTunes, SoundCloud. There's a whole bunch of them online. You can do RSS feeds to try and publish your content online, and just having an option, having a list. And actually, there's a diagram I forgot to add in here. It was made by a graphic designer. It looks like a periodic table of elements, but it's a periodic table of online marketing or search engines or something like that. It's really well done. It gives you quite a lot of ideas that you could potentially use when you're planning your content. So, well, it literally takes you from step-by-step process, from here to the end. And I'll see if I can find it, and I'll share it around as well. I'll put it up on the meetup for the presentation. Okay? So you can use blog aggregators. One of my favorite ones, like other than Google blog search, when you're looking for blog, you can do a blog search and on Google find like the best top 10 blogs about an industry or a product or something that you have. And you learn from them, you network with them, you get to know them, you can become guest bloggers or invite them to write stuff for you, that sort of stuff. You can use this one called All Tops. All Tops looks at the top 100 blogs in any particular industry or category. So the top 100 blogs in any market. It's a huge read. Business listing sites, you can list content on there, you can publish content on there. Some of them allow you, some of them not. Ebooks, publish them, send them out everywhere. It's just about sort of creating more links coming back in, okay, and creating more awareness around what you do, just about reinforcing that message of what you do. Obviously, paid advertising and directories, slide sharing. Slide sharing is pretty good because there's a lot of amazing slides online. People do talks and they just put on, what's the big popular one? It's just SlideShare. SlideShare itself, so it's pretty cool. There's a lot of interesting stuff on there. If you love infographics, if you're a graphic designer and you want to do infographic, you know what? Don't do boring presentations like that. Do it in an infographic and throw it online and let people sort of follow the roadmap and the journey. I can't do that, so I happen to type it all up. Okay. Now, some tools to help you understand who's coming to your site, maybe who's going to your competitor's website, and how you're performing in comparison to other people. Google has a whole range of these products. One really good one is Google PageSpeed. Nothing's more annoying than where your website slide. Look at Google PageSpeed, see how your site's performing. If you're a developer, optimize it as much as you can, trying to get all the green ticks and fix all the bugs and errors in there. If not, get a developer to help you do that, because if Google says you need to speed up your website, guess what? You need to speed up your website because the big boss is telling you to speed it up. Otherwise, you know what, you're too slow, get out of the way. That's exactly what they will do. Okay. So AdWords, for you if you want to do any advertising with Google, Google Analytics, Webmaster Tools, a great way of understanding if your site's been hacked, if you've got broken links, if your site's not being crawled. Have an understanding of what's happening in your digital business. Okay, and Google has a whole range of tools to do that. Just to have a basic understanding of it, so you can at least go say, yeah, that looks right. If not, I do need to look into it a bit more. Okay. These are some of the other tools: SEMrush, Boorank, and WebSEO. This one is actually, if you get the paid license, they're quite expensive, but I must admit I have used it to look at other website performance, especially some of my clients' competitors, and say, okay, well, let's see how their traffic is or how their ad spend is and how they're performing. It can give you a bit of understanding. Boorank's good if you're into the whole SEO thing, but I think SEO is more about content. I actually wrote a blog last year, I published it on LinkedIn, and I said forget about SEO and focus more on content strategy. There's 7 steps as to how you go through, and then I'll share the link as well for that if you guys are just having a read. Okay. Some online tools. Logic is one. Did I spell it correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. HubSpot's very interesting. They're growing. I was having a conversation actually this afternoon with somebody who is one of who works closely with HubSpot, and apparently from his perspective, they've got one of the most amazing training and nurturing program that he's ever seen. So don't know, but apparently they do. But they're very popular. They do have a fantastic blog. The blog is quite informative. They have fantastic blog, but the entire purpose of their blog is give us your email address, download something, and tell us who you are, so we can add you to our sales funnel and sell you something for $1,500 or $1,000 a month. Let it undertrack. Okay. Hootsuite is obviously scheduling. There's quite a few other ones that you can use. Social mention. Don't worry about that too much. It's not very popular these days. Okay. Some other resources. Inbound.org. Inbound.org is like as a community similar to Joomla, but it's all about quality content. It's all about people who write really good content, and somebody says that's pretty cool, adds it to the inbound directory, and people like it. As you like it, it's similar concept to Reddit and all that. It just gets ranked up higher, but inbound is all about inbound marketing. It's all about online marketing, digital marketing. So you come across some really amazing ideas and products and content and what people are doing through inbound.org. Like I said, the other one is HubSpot blog, and Moz has got some decent one. And I try to write on our blog. I try to do one blog a week. The last 3 blogs we did was about what's content strategy, content audit, and content marketing. So we looked at those 3, and there's another one we did the one before that, which is about 10 sort of points or ideas to help you sort of become familiar with them. 10 tips, basically top 10 tips when it comes to your website and to help you drive traffic. That's what the one was. I've got a few other ones on there. Now, more tips. I love tips. First one that I have for who is a parent? Who's got kids? I do. Who doesn't have kids? Those who don't have kids, this is for you. It works.
It's scary when
It does work on other people too. You just walk up and, did you commit your... No. Alright, so that's what I'm... But my favourite one is... yeah, I got that one there. If you have a question, just use the hashtag #AskDigitalSpot. We'll get onto it. We'll monitor it all the time. We can answer a question anytime, no problem. Use inviting terms. This is what I was talking about before. Learn more, and every website you go to, it always says read more, read more, read more. And if I said to you read more, and if I said to you read more, you're like, don't need to read more. I don't want to be told I'm not a school kid anymore. But if you ask them to learn more, it's more inviting. Okay? If it so says inquire or contact us, or these are terms that people say, well, if I call, they will sort of like, oh, you're going to sell me something. But if you say ask us a question, it's more inviting than a term that says contact us or inquire. It's just like, yeah, just too formal. Want to be a little bit more relaxed, especially online. Okay, so keep them curious. Ask them. Well, you've read this. What's next? You've read a bit of the blog, so do you know what's next? and make it a link. Click on it and get them to read what's next. Okay? Or click here, I want to know more. I love that one. You know, are you wondering what's next? No, just click here and you want to know more. Your pain will go away. Okay? In your post, use call to actions. Okay? Use multiples, don't just use one. And you know, there's so many options for call to actions. You can follow, you can share, you can download, you can, I don't know, you can subscribe, you can forward to a friend, you can do all sorts of stuff with promotion. You can pick up a phone, you can chat with us. You know, like you should actually have a list of all the possible call to action that your business can use.
Yeah, so if you want to through them again, it'd be great.
Ooh. Do you want to go back? Yeah, so you can write down a list of everything. So I can write it down and share it if you want. But yeah, you have it there. So depending on what you are sharing with people, pick the 3 easiest call to actions. Okay? Call to actions are not meant to be 2, 3, 4 steps. You need to be, oh, okay, I love that, done. You want to get something done within about 3 seconds. Okay? Get it done quickly, and then you've got it. Okay? What's the next one? Call to action. Oh yeah, show your team. Like show where you are. Like we're here, you know, Peter's taking a photo, team's taking a photo. On a day you've got a workshop, you've got a team meeting, you've got a team activity. Take a photo and share with everybody, this is what we're doing. I actually took a photo of my workstation and called it the mission control. I tweeted it and I've got 7 favorites within about 5 minutes. You know, and that one actually, that 7 favorite because of the network we went out to, it had like a few hundred people, technically reached a few hundred people. Like what if that photo had a little message about something else, not just a, you know, mission control, that's just a photo. Okay. Keep it simple and direct, don't complicate things. Stay away from jargons, CTAs, BAUs. Don't worry about that, that's an internal joke. What else is there? The other one is, like, welcome others into your organization. What I mean by that is not so much like, come on in, that's our organization. If somebody sort of says, how do you guys overcome this problem? Okay, allow people to sort of feel that they can approach you, and you can do that in your content. They can do that in your strategy. You can say, well, for the first month or so, we're going to write about these issues. And one of the most sort of intriguing ones we always ask a lot of our clients, we say, what are the top 10 problems you have in your industry? They're like, oh, this, and that. Okay, so what are the top 10 questions people ask you about those problems? Oh, they ask us this, they ask us, do you have the answers written down in the content, like in a sheet of paper? Oh, no, we don't. That's a good starting point. Okay? You just say, well, we just now have a solution to your 10 most commonly asked questions, and deliver them through blogs, through tweets, through social media, like Facebook, whatever else, maybe a video. I think consider different media. All right? Ask for help and feedback. Don't be afraid to ask. You could be wrong. I could have a spelling mistake on this, so if I do, please point it out because I do make spelling mistakes. Google doesn't always spell check it properly. Blame Google. You know, engage people and thank them. If you've had a follower, if somebody's made a compliment to you about your business, you'd be surprised so many times businesses, there's a Google Plus, you know, the review feature. Who uses it? Yeah? Use it. My theory is, if Google says use a service, use it. Okay? Because they obviously think it's important enough for them to be able to do something with their data, and especially if it's about your business, push it. In my email signature, if I send an email, I write down the bottom, I have a line, in 50 words or less, please tell us what you think about our products and services. To every single email I send. Good, bad, ugly, happy, sad customer, everybody gets it. Okay? A lot of people click on it because I can track it, but a lot of people don't write anything about it. Even if it's bad, I'd rather than writing about it for us to know and be able to go in and comment and say, delete the email, I don't want to talk to these guys anymore. If they haven't called me to tell me about it, I want them to make it public. It's not a problem. We've had a few reviews, and I'd like to have more. And you know, but don't be afraid to ask people, and you know, thank them if they do something. Okay, mostly make it about others, not yourself. And that's where the 70-20-10 comes in. If you 70% of the time you're saying buy, it's all about you. No, I don't want to buy from you. You know, I want you to be able to help me with an issue that I have, to be able to add some value first before I trust you enough for me to be able to give you my money. Okay? Don't be aggressive and competitive, and pick your battles. You know, a lot of times people go on there, a lot of people make a comment about a post or about a blog because of what they think it is. They don't fully understand it. They just make a comment. Sometimes they may make a fool out of themselves, and you're like, well, really, I don't think you quite understood the whole situation. I think communication is very important, and understand what the piece of content is. And if you're going to counter that with something else, have the evidence to back it up, so you look like you're the expert, and don't be aggressive, and say, well, thank you very much for your comment, but my understanding is this because of these reasons. Where so many times you see bloggers just go, escalate, just like, all right, I'm just not going to get involved in anything to do with this, with that zone, because it's going to be online for a very long time. Okay, now, one really, really interesting way that you could actually build your online reputation is if you were to go on there, if you see something that your competitor is being absolutely hammered by a client or by somebody else or whatever, feel free to defend them. If you think that they're worth defending because somebody's wrong, say, no, I think you misunderstood the situation. I've seen this company and I know how they work, because all that will do is help you raise your profile. Not just with your competitor, but also with their clients and with also other people who are reading the negative feedback. Like, oh, who's this guy? Oh, that's his competitor. Oh, that's interesting. It creates that curiosity. Curiosity is awesome. You want to make people as curious as possible. Okay? Do not copy and paste. Don't copy and paste somebody else's blog. Do not copy and paste your own blog into everything else that you have. Okay? Pick the key messages that is appropriate for the site that you're sending out your message. That's what it's all about, and it's about creating that sort of whole ecosystem of this is who we are, this is what we're about, and I'm going to focus on these 4 or 5 key areas that we specialize in and trying to educate people about it as much as I can. You're not going to be able to take on every single person as a client. You only need a small percentage of them, and the more your name's out there, the more popular content you have, the more likely you end up getting higher and bigger and better clients. Okay. Now, engaging relevant, identify relevant engaging keywords and hashtags. On Saturday, we released a website. It's a whole, it's kind of a site at the time. We don't talk about it much, but it's a startup. Basically, I've been working with a friend. We just launched it on Saturday. Now, I did a few different experiments, and if you did a hashtag startup, okay, it was very, very engaging. A lot of people around the world, that's a cool startup, they want to check it out. Within, I think it was about 3 hours, I did about 20 or 15 or 20 or 30, I can't remember, but a couple of dozen sort of tweets. It had over, I think, 87 or 93, something about close to 90 favorites in about 2 or 3 hours that I sort of posted a couple of dozen tweets because it had the hashtag startup. Now, the next thing you do, if somebody tweets it and it's popular and then somebody retweets it, you just thank them for it, that even got more engagement because you just suddenly now, you're communicating with people. It's not automated, you're a person. I found a really interesting problem with that as well. Ended up picking up 67 followers and I messaged them, I said thank you for following and blah, blah, blah. I get an automatic response. And the automatic response for I think 9 of them was identical. So do not automate. Okay, because that is not going to be happy. You end up people losing trust, and there were sort of people that I genuinely wanted to talk to, but I got an automatic response. But his response, her response were all the same. Okay, think about what goes out, basically. Now, that's my favorite one. Profiling celebrities. Who thinks what I mean by that? That's not it. Celebrities are humans. They have hobbies and interests similar to you and I. Okay? So what you want to do is identify what your niche is, identify which celebrity actually follows a similar niche and understands the niche as well as you do or has a really good interest in it. It works very well for non-for-profit organizations because they all want to be humanitarian, they all want to help the world and save the world, and that sort of stuff. They're all quite influential people. Now, I believe that Twitter holds the key and holds a secret key to making things going viral. So what do? Is if you monitor a celebrity who's interested in what you do, you follow them for a number of times. I did it to, what's his name? His name is Joe Hildebrand or something. He's a commentator about a few things happening around the world. That was an interesting conversation I had with him a little while back. So you kind of follow, you see what they're interested in, what their views are, and you create a sort of series of tweets targeted at their hobbies or their interests, whether it's sort of engage them, directly converse with them. Because once they share it, once they like it, because each individual, we have other family and friends and people around us that have share the same common values or hobbies and interests, they will share it to those group of people. And now, potential for it to go viral, much higher than something by chance. Okay? So that's what that's all about. Thank you very much. I hope you found something of use in there. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me via email or Twitter. I prefer Twitter, just tweet, and I'll see if I can answer it. And if it's awesome, then we'll maybe do a blog about it. Okay? Yes, I will.